Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. I'm Kathy Hart. I'm the director of the Wolf Treks Travel Program at NC State. And I want to welcome you all with us tonight and introduce a couple of folks with us. We have Connor Smith and Ashton Coates, and Connor is the director of our Student and Young Alumni Programs. Ashton is the coordinator of our Student and Young Alumni Programs. If you've been involved with our Student Alumni Association, you probably know Connor and Ashton. If you haven't, then I would urge you to get involved with our Young Alumni Programs. And in addition to one of the opportunities we offer our Young Alumni are some Young Alumni trips with AESU. And so I would urge you to take a look at those next year after you graduate. I also want to introduce Abby Burchek. Abby went 2 years ago as the host of our NC State group, and she'll be talking to us a little bit more about the trip that she went on. And now let me just turn it over to Vera Ingram. Vera is the executive director of AESU Travel. We've been working with AESU for quite a while now. And not only do they, as I said earlier, offer this graduation trip, they also we offer, I think, 7 of their Young Alumni trips, which are really lots of fun places, and offer you about a week or 10-day trips reasonably priced. So after you graduate, take a look at those too. So I'm going to turn it over to Vera.
All right. Thank you, Kathy, for the introduction. Hello, everyone. We were just so excited. So many people are participating in our meeting tonight. And I just want to quickly go over some household items. So I want to ask everybody to make sure that your microphones are muted and your video is off. And want to let everybody know the session is being recorded, and we will send you a link to it so you can watch it again later. And then at the end for our Q&A session, there's a chat feature that comes with Zoom, and you can submit your questions, and then we'll answer that all together at the end. So just some fun facts, we've been working with NC State for 10 years already, and every year we had one departure for this graduation trip, and the group size was always between 15 and 25 NC State seniors. And it's a great opportunity for fun and traveling with other grads and gaining insights into other people and places. And now I want to hand it over to my colleague, Christine. She will walk you through the itinerary and also share some information on our raffle. Christine.
Thank you, Vera. Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us. So I'm going to go through the itinerary for you, but before I do that, I just want to let you know about some giveaways we're going to do. So we will be doing 3 different poll questions throughout the webinar. So you want to make sure that you stay on and answer those. Whether you get the answers correct or not, we do have some fun prizes. So we have 2 $200 travel certificates that will be good for payment towards your 2021 grad trip, as well as some NC State holiday ornaments. So we'll have 3 of those, so 5 prizes in total. All right, so I'll go ahead and start our first poll question. Give you guys a minute to answer that one. Okay, looks like we got most of our votes in. The correct answer was to celebrate the year 2000. And a fun fact, the London Eye was constructed to celebrate the year 2000. The 32 capsules of the eye are symbolic of London's 32 boroughs and are numbered 1 to 33, eliminating the 13th carriage for good luck. The wheel offers some of the greatest panoramic views of the city on a good day stretching as far as 25 miles. Okay, now we'll go ahead and I will go through the itinerary for you. All right, so the trip we're here to discuss is the Essential Europe graduation trip, and there are 2 options for you to choose from, either the 18-day trip to 8 countries or the longer 23-day trip to 9 countries. On this tour, you'll be visiting England, France, Belgium, Holland, Germany, Austria, Italy, and Vatican City. And if you continue on the optional 5-day extension, you'll also visit Greece. The Essential Europe trip begins in London. Upon arrival at the airport, you'll be met by your tour director and then transferred to the London hotel if you purchased airfare with AESU. If you purchased airfare on your own, you'll be in charge of transferring to the hotel. It's easy, and you can always call us prior to departure for options on how to arrange it. Once you get to the hotel, you have a free afternoon to relax after your flight. In the evening, you'll get together for a welcome orientation, followed by a fun London pub crawl. This is a great chance to get to know your tour director as well as your fellow travelers. The following morning is our city tour, where you'll see places like Big Ben, Buckingham Palace, and Piccadilly Circus. Lunch in the afternoon will be at your leisure, and you'll receive a day pass for the tube, which you can use to go see more of London. Throughout the trip, your tour director can help you with any questions you may have. If you need ideas about things to do during your free time, just ask your tour director. That's what they're there for. All right, on the morning of day 4, you'll travel from downtown London to downtown Paris on the high-speed Eurostar train. The trip only takes about 2 hours, and you'll travel through the tunnel below the English Channel at up to 186 miles per hour. Once you get to Paris, our local art historian will introduce you to all the exciting sights, such as the Arc de Triomphe, the Eiffel Tower, and the Hunchback's Notre Dame Cathedral. In the evening, you'll enjoy a French bistro dinner, followed by a cruise on the Seine River. All the monuments and fountains will be illuminated, which will make for some great photo ops. Your next day in Paris is free for you to do and see whatever most interests you. Join your tour director this morning for an optional visit to a French perfumery and museum, where you'll learn all about the art of perfume manufacturing from ancient times. Afterward, consider visiting the Palace of Versailles, well known as Louis XIV's residence. Your 2-day museum pass gives you access to the Hall of Mirrors and the King's Grand Chambers, as well as over 70 museums, like the Louvre and other famous sites all around the city. And your Paris travel card will give you access to public transportation throughout the city. This evening, consider joining us for a legendary Can-Can cabaret show at the world-famous Moulin Rouge. Your tour director will find out who wants to go beforehand and will purchase the tickets for you. In the morning, we begin our journey to Amsterdam. On the way, we'll stop in Belgium for a quick visit. You'll have time to explore the area around the beautiful medieval square, the Grand Place. Then it's on to amazing Amsterdam and Holland's colorful windmills. Once you arrive in Amsterdam, there's time to settle in, then enjoy a leisurely night on the town. The next day, everyone is invited to go on a bike ride with us through 13th century Dutch fishing villages. Afterward, you'll be taken to see wooden shoes being carved and then sample Edam cheeses at a local cheese farm. Later in the afternoon, we return to Amsterdam, where you'll have free time to see more of the city or visit the Van Gogh or Rijksmuseum. In the evening, you'll cruise on the canals after enjoying a fun Dutch-Indonesian rice table dinner. All right, next we'll cross the German border into Cologne, where you'll stop to see one of the world's largest cathedrals. After free time for lunch, you'll embark on a cruise on the fabled Rhine River, past ancient castles, steeply sloped vineyards, and the legendary Loreley Rock. After the cruise, we'll continue to Heidelberg, the city of the student prince. Climb to the castle ruins of the Castle of the Palatine Elector for a bird's eye view of the city and the Neckar River, then enjoy an evening at your leisure. The next morning, we'll continue on Germany's romantic road to the stunning medieval city of Rottenburg. Enjoy free time to explore this charming city, then have lunch at a local pub called Gasthaus before traveling on to the fun-filled Oktoberfest city of Munich. Once in Munich, enjoy an evening at leisure, but don't forget to check out the beer and Umpapa bands at the famous Bavarian beer hall, the Hofbrauhaus. The next morning, we'll visit the Dachau Memorial Site. During afternoon free time, consider visiting the BMW Museum, seeing the Glockenspiel chimes, or shop for ornate beer signs and lederhosen. At tonight's dinner, enjoy authentic Bavarian dishes. The next morning, we continue on to the Berchtesgaden salt mines, where you dress up in miner's clothes, ride on a funicular, and slide down into the salt mine. This is a really fun, once-in-a-lifetime experience. Next stop, charming Salzburg, Austria, the birthplace of Mozart and the site where the classic movie The Sound of Music was filmed. You'll have time to wander along the narrow cobbled streets lined with unique shops and cafes. Then we're headed off to Europe's largest alpine sports region in the heart of the snow-capped Austrian Alps, where you'll be pampered for 2 nights and enjoy hearty alpine cuisine. On your second day, there's time to relax, for hiking in the mountains, or if you're feeling adventurous, consider our optional whitewater rafting experience. Intriguing Venice, Italy is our next destination. A private boat takes us to Murano Island, Venice's glassmaking center since the 13th century. After watching a demonstration of the glassblowing skills, you'll have a day to walk along the famous canals. Take this opportunity and try the famous Italian ice cream, gelato, offered by vendors throughout the city. Later on, consider taking a gondola ride, a true Venetian experience. Day 14 has us venturing to Michelangelo's Florence. The city has been called an outdoor museum by many visitors, and on your half-day Florence art tour, you'll see the Gates of Paradise, the marble Santa Maria del Fiore Cathedral, Giotto's Bell Tower, and much more. During free time this afternoon, consider visiting a museum or do some shopping. Then the next day is free to get lost at the Vazzi Uffizi galleries or the Accademia with Michelangelo's famous David statue. Or you may consider an optional morning visit to the Chianti region that is offered, where participants can enjoy a visit to a local vineyard with wine tasting and snacks. In the evening, you'll enjoy a Florentine dinner, and afterward, your tour director will take you dancing at a popular local nightclub. Next, we take the Highway of the Sun to the ancient city of Rome. After check-in, you'll have time to either relax or go explore Rome for the rest of the day. More opportunity to sample Italy's incredible gelato. The following morning, you'll explore Caesar's Roman Forum and Circus Maximus, where chariot races were held. These ruins date back to the 8th century BC. Then a trip across the Tiber River brings you to St. Peter's Basilica and Vatican City. Use your leisure time to go see the breathtaking Sistine Chapel, or use your Roma Pass discount card for a more in-depth exploration of the Colosseum, where gladiators fought to the death. Have fun tonight at our tasty Viva Italia pizza party in Trastevere, the perfect spot to get a glimpse of the old world while still enjoying the lifestyle of today's Romans. Now, for those of you ending the trip in Rome, this will be your last night. In the morning, unfortunately, you'll be heading home, but for the majority of travelers, you'll continue south to Greece. So for those of you continuing on to Greece, this morning you'll travel to famous Pompeii, the city buried in 20 feet of ash after a volcanic eruption in 79 AD. A local historian will lead you on a tour of the ruins, where you'll explore the excavated wonders, including homes, markets, and temples that remain intact, and streets that still bear the marks of chariot wheels from 2,000 years ago. Continue your travels across Italy's Boot to board our overnight ship to Greece. Pack an overnight bag for this because your main luggage will be stored in the ship's hold. Past travelers have called this part of the trip their favorite, as you are entering the relaxing part of your journey. A lot of people like to just sit on the outside decks and watch the sun go down and meet other people, and there are restaurants and bars to check out and always some type of entertainment. Once the ship docks, the group will be picked up by our local motor coach, taking you across the peninsula from Patras to Galatas. Here, you'll catch a taxi boat for a short ride to the Greek island of Poros. You'll have 3 days to relax by the water and do as much or as little as you'd like. You can just sunbathe and swim in the clear blue sea, or consider optional activities like water skiing, wakeboarding, banana boating, parasailing, and tubing. And you'll enjoy free bike rentals for a day, which offer an opportunity to explore more of the island. Tasty Greek dinners are included every night, and there will be a fun toga party on your last island night. After your relaxing days on the island, you'll board the Flying Dolphin hydrofoil to Athens. Once there, you'll see sites like the 2,400-year-old Parthenon and the Temple of Olympia. Your free afternoon may find you wandering the paths of Plato and Socrates, or bargaining at a lively market. As this is our last night together, everyone is invited to our farewell taverna dinner in the Plaka district, the oldest neighborhood in Athens at the foot of the Acropolis. The next morning, you'll head to the airport and fly back home with many fond memories and plans to return to your favorite city. Okay, so that's the Essential Europe trip in a nutshell. Now I'd like to go over everything that is included in the trip. Here you'll see a list of what's included in your base price. You'll get 16 nights in superior tourist class hotels or better. These will include 2 twin beds and your own private bathroom. You'll also receive daily continental breakfast, 7 3-course dinners, and 1 included lunch, a high-speed train from London to Paris, guided tours in London, Paris, Florence, and Rome, the Seine and Rhine river cruises, along with an Amsterdam canal cruise, a 2-day Paris museum pass and a Paris travel card, an Amsterdam travel card, admissions to Heidelberg Castle and the Berchtesgaden salt mines, Colosseum and Forum, a Roma pass, which gives you admission to most of the famous sites in Rome, and all scheduled sightseeing as per the itinerary, plus a private tour director for the entire duration of the tour and a private motor coach. If you opt to go on the extended itinerary, you'll receive an additional 5 nights in superior tourist class hotels or better, an overnight trip to Greece, daily continental breakfasts, and 4 3-course specialty dinners. You'll also receive admission into the Pompeii excavations and Acropolis in Athens, along with guided tours from local historians. All right, so the trip cost is going to depend on which option you choose. The 18-day package is $4,175 per person. And if you want to go on the longer 23-day trip, add an additional $795 per person for a total of $4,970. I can tell you from past trips that more than 75% of the group will continue on to Greece. And just remember, you cannot add the extension while you're on the tour. Now for the few things that are not included. Those would be any meals, beverages, admissions, and transportation not mentioned in the inclusions, and any optional excursions that are offered to you during the trip. There are 3 optional excursions offered on this tour: the Can-Can Cabaret Show in Paris, whitewater rafting in Austria, and the Chianti wine tasting in Florence. In addition to these excursions, you'll also have the option to participate in water sports in Poros for those of you on the Greece extension. You can find details on the optional excursions on your tour's website, and upon arrival in Europe, your tour director will take bookings and payment for the activities that you'd like to sign up for. Okay, so just to go over some discounts that we're currently offering. Currently, if you pay in full by December 28th, you can take $250 off the 23-day tour or $150 off the 18-day tour. Again, that is for payment in full by December 28th. Alternatively, or in addition to, if you pay the deposit by December 28th, you'll receive a $100 travel voucher to be used as payment for or towards optional activities offered on your grad trip. And you can always find more information on our deals on your tour's website. Okay, so for airfare, AESU can book your flights for you, and there are many advantages if you want to book your airfare with us. First and most important is peace of mind that we know where you are on your flights at all times. If your flight is delayed or canceled, the airline will inform us, and we can pass that information on to the tour director, or if necessary, assist with rebooking. Another reason to book air with us is that you'll receive free transfers to and from the airport overseas if you're traveling on the regular tour dates. If you need to change your flights, you can call us and we can take care of that for you. And depending on the type of change, the airline may be charging fees. For more information on your flights and any flight questions, you can always call our flight department at 1-800-638-7640. As for spending money, we do recommend that you take a small amount of cash with you. During your travels, ATM and credit cards are going to be the best way to exchange your money. Just make sure your credit card is on a major network and be sure to call your bank before leaving to let them know that you'll be using your cards outside of the country. If you don't, they may put a fraud alert on your card or they could cancel your card entirely. We suggest that you budget around $60 to $80 per day for personal spending, including food, drinks, laundry, some sightseeing, etc. And just remember, spending money is not included in the overall price of the tour. As far as documents you'll need, everyone will need a valid passport to travel. Your passport needs to be valid for at least 6 months past your return date. If you're not a U.S. citizen, you'll want to call your consulate to see if you are in need of a visa. At this time, U.S. citizens do not need a visa for this trip. As for shots, you'll want to consult your physician. Most people don't need any, and at the moment, none are required by the CDC. Your final tour documents will be emailed to you approximately 3 to 4 weeks prior to departure and will also be available to download from your AESU account. For hints on packing and luggage, check out links on our website for suggestions. You're allowed to take one carry-on bag, such as a backpack, in addition to a purse, and one check bag with a maximum weight of 50 pounds. Your final documents will include the updated rules from the TSA on carry-on bags. When it comes to taking electronics, we advise taking as few as possible and leaving your laptop or tablet at home. Just remember that anything you take with you can also be lost, stolen, or broken. If you do bring your smartphone, be sure to check on international rates, especially data roaming with your carrier. We would advise turning data roaming off while traveling unless your carrier offers an affordable international package. Alternatively, you can purchase a pay-as-you-go phone once you arrive in London, and your tour director can assist you with suggestions on where to purchase a phone or a SIM card. Please be aware that not all hotels may offer free Wi-Fi. Some hotels offer free service in the public area, such as the hotel lobby. Some may offer complimentary service throughout. Some may offer service at a charge anywhere in the hotel, and some may not offer Wi-Fi, or it may be spotty. There are internet hotspots everywhere in Europe, and a lot of places offer free Wi-Fi public areas. For example, the Tower of London has free Wi-Fi, and so does the Louvre. Keep in mind that these places, including your hotels, can be very busy and the connection might not be very strong. London's Heathrow Airport also offers free Wi-Fi, so you can connect via our group messaging app with the tour director and fellow travelers upon arrival. Now, I want to share a few helpful hints before I answer any questions that you might have. Make sure you take a book or some games for the rides in between cities. You'll be covering over 3,000 miles of European soil by ships, ferries, and mostly by private motor coach. If you have a student ID, be sure to take it with you because extra discounts may be available at select stores, sites, and museums. Before you leave, plan out things you might want to do during your free time. If there are certain museums or sites, purchase tickets online so that you already have them when you get there, or skip some of the long lines. Be sure to make copies of all of your documents, including your passport, credit cards, travel documents, hotel lists, etc. Last but not least, have fun. This is a once-in-a-lifetime trip that you're going to remember forever.
Okay.
And now I'm going to jump into the next poll question. Give you guys a second to answer that.
There, it looks like I was with NC State. This was one of my first tours.
All right.
That's me on the bottom right.
Okay, I think we got a lot of the votes in here, and it looks like most people got this one right. The answer is the 1889 Paris World Fair. And so, fun fact, the Eiffel Tower was built to be one of the main attractions at the Paris World Fair in 1889. It was a temporary construction that was only to stay for 20 years, but as we know, it is still there today and is now the symbol of the city of Paris. Okay, and so now I'm going to hand it over to Jessie Wright. Jessie is one of our tour directors, so take it away.
Hi, everyone. It is nice to see some NC State faces again. This was a tour I was on maybe 3 years ago or so. I'm from the US, but I've moved to Vienna after I graduated from Ohio State and have been doing tours for ASU for the last 5 years now. Being a tour guide is a crazy, amazing job. I am definitely a part of your everyday on the tour, whether it's me or one of the other fabulous tour guides who have much more amazing accents than I do. But a few pieces of just advice from my end is try to do a little research before, just know what you want to see and what's important because the time flies. Bring a journal, call the credit card and bank, just know what the scoop from your end. And just don't get too stressed about cramming it in. So enjoy the moments too. And then I'll definitely, I hope, be of help in the Q&A, but yeah.
Thanks, Jessie.
Jessie? Now we're going to go ahead and turn it over to Abby Verchick. Abby was our NC State host a couple years back, and so she's going to fill you in on what it was like to be on the tour.
Hi, everyone. It's great to virtually meet you. I'm Abby Verchick. I graduated from NC State in 2019 and had the opportunity to go on this trip of a lifetime as the NC State host that year. I just wanted to kind of go over some of my personal trip highlights and some tips and tricks that may help you as you consider going on this wonderful journey. So I really enjoyed Paris. I think we got a lot of free time in that city, and I was able to go to the top of the Eiffel Tower. So that was definitely a trip highlight for me. Additionally, biking through Amsterdam and being able to just see the countryside was absolutely stunning. Also, I got to go on the wine tour in the Chianti region in Italy, and that was an additional feature of one of the trips, but I really enjoyed that, as well as Florence. Those are pretty much back to back. So Italy, lots of great food and wine as well. And then I would really strongly recommend, if you can, to go on the Greece excursion and the extra add-on of the trip. It is, in Jesse's background, it's the most wonderful part of the whole trip. It was my favorite. As Christine was talking about earlier, it's kind of when everyone is able to just relax. You are moving a ton. You're really go, go, go for the first 2 weeks of the trip, but then the last 5 days is pretty relaxing, and you can just get some warm weather and bask in the sun. Speaking of the weather, I'd really recommend packing in layers, pack lightly. It is really hard to cram 3 weeks of clothing into one suitcase, but it is a lot easier if you only bring a suitcase and a backpack. I really only brought one pair of jeans and one jacket. You do go from a colder climate to a bit of a warmer climate. So it's complicated, but just try to pack as light as you can. And then as everyone's been talking about, I really encourage you to do that research, because you do have some free time. People kind of break off and do certain things based on their interests. But if you have something that you're interested in doing, normally you can convince other people to go with you, or potentially just go on your own and see the thing that you want to do. But the tour guides are wonderful, and they always have great recommendations. They know the best places to go, the best things to do, but sometimes you do need those advanced bookings as well to see some of the sites. So I'm happy to answer any questions you guys have later on. I can give you my email if you need it, but I really hope that you guys are all able to go, because it was just a trip of a lifetime.
Awesome.
Thanks so much. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and launch the third and final poll question. Give you guys a minute to answer that one. Okay, it looks like we have most of the votes in. So the answer for this one was 3,500 euros. Throwing coins in Trevi Fountain is symbolic. 1 coin ensures a return trip to Rome. 2 coins are for those seeking love. 3 coins symbolize wedding bells. Every day, approximately 3,500 euros are tossed into the Trevi Fountain, which amounts to nearly $1.5 million per year. The money is then donated to charity. I think most people got that one right as well. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and open it up for questions.
Yeah, so everyone that has a question, please type it in your chat feature, and we'll give everybody a minute or so, and then I will read out the questions, and then depending on the type of question, I will ask either Christine or Jesse or maybe Abby or maybe Kathy to answer the question. So fire away.
While we're waiting on the questions to come through, I want to reiterate that about getting your air through AESU, that really is the best option. It's far easier than any of the other ways, and their prices are great. So I would really reiterate doing that, and rather than going out and searching around, then it just all works so much cleaner and clearer that way.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a good point, because also we know where, if there are delays, we are aware of this and we can assist much easier if we take care of the airfare. So I'm getting some questions in here, and, not surprising, a lot of them are with regards to our current situation. People are asking, what happens if the COVID numbers get higher, or if somebody gets ill on the tour. Yeah, so I mean, there's I would say a good number of questions with regard to that. So I will hand it over to Christine, and she can answer, I think, most of the questions.
So as far as COVID, first of all, we are implementing some enhanced protocols on the tour with all of our vendors, including reducing the number of travelers on each tour to allow travelers to have some more space on buses. We'll be providing hand sanitizer both on the buses as well as in the hotels. Tour directors will be available to answer all basic questions, inform you of local restrictions, as well as regulations such as social distancing, public places, mask requirements, things like that. And they'll also be providing basic screenings and temperature takings. Masks will be required on the tour. We suggest cloth with a filter, and we do recommend bringing multiple in case one is misplaced. By the time the tour season comes around, we're certainly hoping that COVID-19 will be in the rearview mirror. We know this has been a tough year for everyone, not just in the travel industry, but also for all of you who want to travel. So our plan right now is to look at each tour 75 days prior to departure, and we'll decide if we are going to operate or not. If anyone is uncomfortable traveling with us in 2020, we do have a new policy in place that will allow you to transfer any funds that you've paid towards a future trip with us. So whether that be another tour later in 2021, or if you want to go on the same Central Europe tour with us in 2022. Another new policy that we're offering to allow flexibility is our peace of mind policy, which allows you to cancel for any reason through the end of this year and receive a full refund in the form of cash and a $300 travel voucher that you can use towards future travel. So that is in place of our standard $300 cancellation penalty, meaning that if you cancel before the end of the year, you would not be losing any money. We do understand that this is a fluid situation, and so we will continue to monitor CDC guidelines. If we don't feel that it's safe traveling to a certain country, we certainly won't go because our travelers' safety is our main priority. We want to travel as badly as you do, but we want to make sure that we do it safely.
So I just got one question, Christine, I just want to answer also. Somebody's asking if a COVID test would be required before travel, and that actually goes along the same lines as what Christine just said, that we just don't know that at this point because the situation is changing constantly, and with the vaccines rolling out, we will have to look at that as well at the 75 days, or if earlier, then we'll look at it a little bit earlier. I have a question here for Kathy. Somebody's asking if non-NC state grads, for instance, a husband, can come along as a guest.
Yes, they can. We allow you to bring friends or family as long as they're within a reasonable age range. We don't like for you to bring mom and dad. They need to stay at home. Other than that, we're happy to have you bring family.
Very good. Then I have a question, I think for Christine. So if traveling with a friend, asked if they should buy the tickets at the same time so that they can room and travel together.
Yeah, so if you're booking with us, as long as you list each other when you're making your reservation in the general request section, we will go ahead and room you together. If one of you books later and you didn't list each other, you can always just call or email us and we're happy to arrange that for you. As far as flights, we will typically try to seat you together if you list that you're rooming together. But again, you can always just call or email us and let us know that you want to make sure that you are rooming together and sitting near each other on the plane, and we will take care of that for you.
Thank you, Christine. I have a question, I think another one for Kathy. It's that somebody's asking if there would be a orientation or some sort of gathering before the trip, so to get to know potential future travel companions.
Yes, we always do that, provided that we're allowed to. But yes, we usually bring everybody together and have like a pizza party and let everybody meet each other so that they'll recognize each other at the airport and so forth. So usually in the past, we've always done that. We'll gather at the Alumni Association for a pizza party one evening.
Yeah, so the same person was asking how lodging works. I am assuming, what kind of the rooming situation is. So if for solo travelers, we will find a same gender roommate for you if you're interested. You can pay a single supplement if you prefer to have your own room. If you are traveling with a person, a husband or a boyfriend of the opposite gender, you can request a room with one bed rather than the twin beds. Okay.
Also, if you all want to contact me, last year what I would do is if I put people together and they can meet once to see if they thought they'd be compatible. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah. So you maybe a question for Jessie here. If you have a friend or relative who lives in an area that is visited on the tour, are you allowed to hang out with them while you're there?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a good question. And yeah, if you're all the way over there, absolutely, that's great. The most important thing to remember is this is your tour. Your tour guide is going to try to give you as much as we possibly can, but you're absolutely not expected to do it all. It's kind of just all at your fingertips. So really, you just have to be on the bus to go to the next location is really the most important part. And let your tour guide know if they're supposed to be counting you at the museum or this sort of thing. So letting your tour guide know and having as much fun as you can in your way while we're in that city and just not missing the bus on the way out is really kind of the guideline on my tour anyways.
Thanks, Jessie.
Yep.
How many spots are available? Christine here.
Yeah, so I believe we're reducing it to about 35 this year. Typically, we can take up to 44, but as I mentioned, we do want to provide some more space for everyone to stretch out on the bus, have some more room. So I believe we're going to be capping it at about 35.
Thank you. So I'm going to combine two questions here because they're both about airfare and airline. So one question is, when do we know which airline we're flying with? And two is the airfare included or is an additional fee?
So the airfare is not included in the base price, but as mentioned, we can book the airfare for you. We have a contract with select airlines, so we typically use United, Lufthansa, and Air Canada, and we are able to offer you pretty competitive rates there. I do have some rough quotes here from Raleigh as well as Charlotte. So first I'll do Raleigh. If you wanted to return from Rome, it would be approximately $850 for the round trip versus returning from Athens would be approximately $835. And from Charlotte, returning from Rome would be approximately $796 for the round trip versus Athens return would be approximately $786 for the round trip. These are based on the current availability. If you have a different airport that you wanted to depart from, or if you wanted to do some traveling after the tour and come back from somewhere else on a later date, we can certainly accommodate that. Just call us or email us and we are happy to help and provide any airfare quotes for you.
Thank you, Christine. So Kathy, is a question for you. I think you touched on this subject in the beginning. Somebody's asking if they're not comfortable traveling on this trip, if they can participate in any future events.
Sure. I mean, we're offering 7, I think it is 7, right, Vera?
Yeah.
Young alumni trips next year. So if you would feel more comfortable going with one of those, you're certainly able to do that as well, because you're graduating, so you're going to be an alum, and those are young alumni trips. We've had one young man who's been on this trip as well as 2 or 3 of our young alumni trips. So they are popular and they go to great destinations. And so those are also on our website. If you'd like to check those out, we'd be happy to have you do so. Or if you want to contact me, I'll be glad to send you the links.
Thank you, Kathy. So I think we're going to take maybe 1 or 2 more questions and then Kathy will announce the winners. So I have a question for Jessie. how and when do we sign up for the optional excursions, and how do we pay them?
Yeah, absolutely. I start off introducing these the first day. The reason why they're kind of an optional excursion is they're a little bit more of an expensive activity compared to maybe some of the other things we're doing. So maybe not everyone wants to. I'll really highlight what I love to do, how we're going to get there, and the money we collect in cash. So that's something that maybe we'll do withdraw from the ATM, and we'll really just want kind of a commitment, usually about 5 days prior. So the first one, the Moulin Rouge in Paris, is really kind of an immediate confirming. So really kind of know if you want to do that beforehand. And then I'm collecting the cash from everyone because it's kind of a last minute organizing, and we're paying the cabs and the ticket office and this sort of thing. So it's just kind of easier for me to organize. But yeah, we'll collect it through cash, kind of commit a few days before, and that's how that goes.
Thank you, Jessie. So one more question here, I think. Someone's asking, she or he graduated in 2016. Can I still travel on this tour?
Sure, yes.
Okay.
Have you?
Yeah. Okay, so I think we're wrapping it up. We're going to look through the questions later, and if there are any questions that we haven't answered, we can contact you and provide the answers that way.
And I'll be sending all of you a recording of this session, and with that will be my email, which is hart, HART, @ncsu.edu. So if you have any other questions, please reach out to me and give me a call, and I'll be glad to talk with you. Also, when I send you the link tomorrow, I'll send you my telephone number as well. So thank you very much for attending.
Would you let us know who won?
Pardon me?
Can you announce the winners?
Oh, yes. Okay.
Please.
The first one is Diana Bond, Phan, Bond.
Okay, and she wins one of the travel vouchers.
Okay, great.
Yay.
Congratulations. And our second winner is John Montague Smith. And our third winner is Mawadi Al-Masri. And our fourth winner is Rachel Snyder. And our last winner is Melanie Lewis.
Great. So I just want to say, so Donna and John won the 2 travel vouchers, and the latter 3 won each a wonderful NC State Christmas ornament. So congratulations to all. Kathy, I'll let you say the final words.
Okay, and I'll reach out to those of you who won the Christmas ornament tomorrow, and you can give me an address where you'd like to have it sent. So thank you very much for coming. I really appreciate it. And I hope you'll give this all consideration. If you have parents who have questions, I'm happy to talk with them. I talked with some parents today already. So I'm happy to talk with them. They just can't go. I've actually had that question come up. I know you thought I was just joking, but I wasn't. So, but I'm happy to talk to them to assure them that this is a safe and fun trip for everybody. So have a great NC State evening, and congratulations on being a graduating senior.
Thank you. Good night.
Bye.
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 Thank you.